Because you're wrong.
But why are you saying that?
It's not my job to educate you. You should know the legislation. If you're going to give me a lawful order to land my drone, you should know the legislation. You have this drone, you should know the legislation.
Yeah.
And you clearly don't.
Well,
yes, you are.
People.
That's for larger drones.
No, it's for any drones.
It's for drones over 250 grams. It's not fun because you're interrupting my freedom by giving me what you're calling a lawful order, and it's unlawful.
Did I know what size that was before you landed it? Yes or no?
It doesn't matter unless you have reasonable suspicion that it's over 250 grams.
Okay, well, I did, didn't I?
No.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have told you to do it.
Well, I'm sorry, but you said you know it's under 250 grams because you've got the same drone.
It was above your head.
Right. At which point you could have said, all right, don't worry, keep it up there then. You could have rescinded your alleged lawful order. What reasonable suspicion did you have that it was over 250 grams?
It's flying in the air. Why would I not suspect you? You're flying it over a police station.
Yeah.
You've got to appreciate that's going to raise some sort of suspicion.
But why would you reasonably suspect that it's over 250 grams? Why is that your first thought? It has to be reasonable suspicion to give me that lawful order of an offence.
Yeah, I know.
So what's the reasonable part of this suspicion, other than I felt like telling you to bring it down because I wanted to talk to you? That's not reasonable suspicion.
Okay, but I also have no reasonable suspicion to say that it is 200.
Well, I mean, you stood here. I was stood here when you approached. You can see the case that says DJI Mini. If you actually don't use some observation skills, you would know.
So,
but unfortunately, you just want to go gung-ho.
Gung-ho? I only told you to land the drone.
Yeah, which is interrupting my freedom right now.
Okay.
You're interrupting my time. You're wasting my time.
I'm not wasting it.
You are. You're burning daylight. I've got a job to do.
The tension hits immediately. From the moment the police appear, you can feel the atmosphere shift, a charged calm before the storm. The cameras capture the very first glances exchanged, the subtle movements, and the unspoken warnings. Every second counts here. The audience is instantly drawn into the uncertainty of what's about to unfold. Who will take the first step? What rules will be tested? The stage is set, and the suspense is palpable.
And you just said that I can't fly.
It's on the floor, and I know that it's that way. Then we've got no issue, have we?
Well, there is, because you needed reasonable suspicion to give me that lawful order.
I did.
No, you didn't. As I said, if you actually used some investigation skills, some observation, and saw the case that says DJI Mini, right, you would be able to ascertain that it's a small drone. You're interrupting my freedom and obstructing my human rights. Article 10, freedom of expression, you're interrupting.
I'm not interrupting.
You are, because you've just given me what you're alleging is a lawful order, and you're interrupting my time.
You're actually regulated airspace as well.
It's not actually.
Actually, our police station comes under London City Airport regulated airspace.
Where's that?
I think you're fine. So feel free to look yourself. But up until the junction of Primrose Avenue, this actually comes under City of London Controlled Zone airspace, which means that it's in effect from the surface and 2,500 feet.
That's not what my app said.
Well, unfortunately, maybe you should do some more research, because my app is done on... Look, at the end of the day, I don't want to have... I'm not here to have an argument at the end of the day. I quite particularly, I was coming here to go home anyway. But I didn't see the case on the floor. At the end of the day, someone's flying a drone over a police station. You're going to appreciate that someone might be suspicious of that, okay?
So you see on my app, it's not coming up with any flight restriction zone.
Now the dialogue begins, and you can feel the pressure mounting. Officers approach with questions, attempting to assert authority, while the individual on camera maintains a measured stance, occasionally challenging their assertions. There's a careful dance here. Words are chosen, pauses stretch tension, and viewers are left holding their breath as the first sparks of disagreement start to appear.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't fly now, but now we've sorted it out and we've talked. Like you said, you didn't want to talk to me while you're flying a drone. That's responsible. Now it's landed. There's no issue, is there?
Well, there was, because you've interrupted my time and my footage.
Did I know it was that weight before it come down?
No, but you have to have reasonable suspicion of a crime before you give a lawful order to land a drone. You have to have the reasonable suspicion. You didn't have any reasonable suspicion. You may have thought, oh, it might be over 250, it might be under, but you have to have reasonable suspicion, articulable suspicion that it is over 250. Not that it might be, that it is. You have to have reasonable suspicion. You didn't have that, so your order at that time was unlawful. according to your app, and I won't take it back up.
Yeah,
But
appreciate
at
that,
that
yeah.
time when you gave me that lawful order, you didn't know that. You didn't know that it was or wasn't.
No, but I didn't say it was, did I?
No,
At
but,
that point, I didn't say it was.
again, you shouldn't say you're giving a lawful order if it's not a lawful order.
Well, it was a lawful order because...
It wasn't a lawful order.
Yes,
We're
but
going to run around in circles
I
with
know we
this.
are, but I didn't know that was under it. Because I suspect that it was.
What made you suspect that it was? That's what I want to know.
Because
So
I
it has
have
to be
no, I have
reasonable.
no evidence to suggest that it's not under over 250.
That's not that's
Yeah,
not reasonable
but
suspicion.
But that is for me to decide.
No, that suspicion is not reasonable suspicion because you have that objectionable ground to suspect that it is. If you had come and seen my case and it just said DGI and it didn't, no, listen, let me finish.
Yeah,
if you just came and saw my case and it said DGI and it didn't say DGI Mini, then yes, you could probably use that because it doesn't say Mini. You might think, oh, actually, maybe that's over the weight.
True.
But that would be reasonable suspicion because you would have a fact, some evidence to go on for you to give a law.
This is where the calm cracks. Voices rise, gestures intensify, and the confrontation starts taking center stage. Every movement and expression tells a story. The police trying to control the situation, and the subject pushing back with composure, yet unmistakable defiance. The suspense builds as the audience wonders. Will this escalate further, or will reason prevail?
You go, oh yeah, that must be under 250 grams.
But then you could have waited for me to land it. You could have waited and then...
Yeah, but you said you wasn't going to until I gave you a lawful order.
Yeah, and well, eventually my battery's going to run out or I'm going to finish getting the footage that I was getting, isn't it? Yeah. And then you could have waited until that without using a false lawful order and then conducted your investigation. It was because you didn't have enough suspicion.
Anyway, because like you said, we're going to go around in circles. We've had this little bit about what airspace we're in. I'm going to go with what I've got.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Even under that offence, I know the offence, the court would have to prove that I reasonably knew that I was flying in restricted airspace, but because my app clearly
But I'm not saying
shows...
I'm going to start taking you to court for it.
No, but again, like it wouldn't hold up anyway because I reasonably didn't believe I was, so like they would get thrown out anyway. It would be pointless.
I mean this in a really nice way. Have you considered joining them?
Absolutely not. No. Well, I don't want to join the most corrupt organisation in the UK.
You like your legislation. You're a very intelligent person, and the way you communicate it is respectful and it's quite friendly.
Yes, absolutely. Like I'm not here to be aggressive with you, but I don't like having my rights infringed upon, and I will do it politely.
You don't have to tell me what you do, obviously.
Yeah.
Tell me you do something with a legal background.
No, I do psychology actually.
Psychology?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually doing a PhD in it at the moment.
Okay,
So, but yeah, no, law is just a side interest, and I am quite well versed on. Yeah. Not every law, like you're not going to be every law, but laws that I need to know.
You appreciate we have various people who pay interest to police stations. Obviously, as my colleagues already said, it's always going to attract a certain amount of suspicion.
Okay.
There's always that side of it.
And I've got no problem with you guys coming and interacting. None at all.
And I appreciate that. I'll ask you anyway, is there any particular reason that you fly over police station or this police station?
Because aerial footage is really cool.
Yeah,
it looks really good.
Yeah,
you know that. You fly a drone. It
no,
looks really good.
I appreciate what you're saying.
But
I used to have one before the legislation got changed and they started cracking down.
Yeah.
And the one I had was too big and I didn't want to go through the rigmarole of regular.
Yeah. So you get a smaller one.
So I do see what you said. But obviously, it is a sensitive side.
Right. And I've got no problem with you coming and asking. What I have a problem with is when. Again, I think we're just going to have to agree to disagree on whether that was a lawful order, because I do not believe it was. And
understandably, you would feel that. Because, and the same reason.
Here's the moment that defines the encounter. The subject questions their rights, challenging the police directly, and the tension skyrockets. The interaction teeters on a knife edge. Every word matters. Every hesitation adds to the drama. This is not just a conversation. It's a clash of authority versus accountability, and viewers are glued, waiting for the next move.
Well, particularly when it comes to things like use of force and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That criminal side.
But infringement of human rights as well is a big one as well.
Yeah, no,
and I do believe this to be an infringement of Article 10 for me at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that lawful order, which is infringed on my right to freedom of expression.
But as I say, look, we've moved on from that.
Yeah.
Right, my colleagues already explained about the airspace and stuff like that. I'll be honest, I need to brush up on my legislation.
Yeah.
Clearly with the Civil Aviation Act. I know the basics of what the drone code says and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But with regards to the legislation that backs it up.
Yeah. And that's good. Like if you're ever approaching somebody with a drone and you're not sure, do what he did and look it up on the phone. But do that before you start giving out orders that I can't be within 50 metres, because as we've seen, you were wrong on that.
Yeah.
Okay? And can you admit that you're wrong?
Yeah, but with this particular drone.
But I said it. I told you it was under 250 gram when we stood over there,
Yeah.
and you said you still can't be within 50 metres.
Yeah.
Okay, and so when we looked it up, yeah, okay,
Of course I do.
okay, and
Yeah.
absolutely. So all I want to ask is next time when you're approaching, whether it's a drone, whether it's anything, don't go telling people what is and isn't if you're not sure. Like I said to you, get it up on your phone, and while you were looking it up, you were still saying it is, it is. You're in a position where what you're saying to somebody in your uniform can have a great effect on what they do in their actions, and can potentially persuade or dissuade them from doing a lawful activity. Okay.
Now we enter a tactical phase. IDs are requested, documents checked, and every camera angle captures subtle power dynamics. The audience witnesses the meticulous scrutiny of both sides. Officers enforcing protocol, the subject carefully navigating every instruction. The suspense here is quieter, but no less intense. It's a waiting game, a battle of procedure versus principle.
I said it wasn't. I said it was under 250 grams.
Yeah.
Completely accept what you're saying. I've had people that I've stopped with white powder on them in little bags. The first thing out of their mouth is, it's not cocaine. You see what I'm saying?
True.
Taking that word for it initially.
Yeah.
Hence why what my colleague's saying about the reasonable brands. I know we've had that discussion. We don't need to revisit that.
But
I
then,
think this is very much going to be.
But then, like at that point, I think you're acting on past experience of other people, and not taking the public at face value, and automatically having a suspicion before you've even investigated.
Like you say, you've got to build those grounds, haven't you? You can't just walk into something. You have to be objective. You have to look at everything available to
Absolutely.
you. You have to make decisions based on that. Completely agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely spot on. Hence why we have things like decision-making models and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So, but, as my colleague said, at the point he gives that lawful order,
Yeah.
it's a lawful order because he has that reasonable grounds to suspect.
Again, that's what we're going to disagree.
And this is where they disagree.
Yeah, it
So
wasn't
completely,
reasonable
I
enough.
understand what you're saying. If you want to go and seek advice and stuff like that, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I'll speak to 810K, 100%. Because at the end of the day, like, we're on a mission to
I'll ask
deal
the question.
with.
I know the answer. Do you want to provide any details to us?
You know the answer.
I know the answer.
You know the answer.
I have to ask the question.
Did they make you ask it?
No, it's something that I will probably be not criticised, but a question will be asked why I didn't ask. Because obviously, like I say, any police building is a sensitive site. I'm guessing this isn't your first rodeo. You understand how it works. You understand it's going to generate a lot of interest. It's something that we're always going to ask. So I'll ask the question. You'll decline.
Yeah.
We've both played this game before. That's absolutely fine.
No worries.
All right.
But
I apologise for any confusion.
All right. I appreciate you. I appreciate that it's calmed down a lot and we've come to this. That I'm quite an amenable person. I just the way I'm approached will dictate what the response you get from me as well.
I don't come to work to have grief.
No.
I just come to work to do a job and go home. I appreciate it's a bit of a strange job. It's not a job that everyone does.
Yeah.
Same with.
Tension spreads outward as bystanders react. Voices overlap, movements shift, and the energy spikes. Now the scene isn't just about two parties. The presence of the crowd adds a volatile element. The commentary pulls viewers into every glance, every whisper, every potential spark that could ignite a full-blown escalation. Suspense reaches a new level. Unpredictability is now part of the narrative.
Number T2386. Appreciate it.
Like I said about the app, obviously double check, because to say you're getting in any bother that it is in airspace, then it's two different options, isn't it? Your one says yes, your one says it's fine, my one says it's not.
Yeah.
Unless we go to the Civil Aviation Authority to
Suggest
say, I want the actual
touch
map.
with the CAA or City Airport.
Well, I'll contact DJI and say you need to update your app and make it better. You know.
Because to be fair,
it is.
that's the one I got from getting that.
What, the Altitude Angel?
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, this one literally just comes with the software on the DJI app, but apparently.
No, that's fair enough.
But,
any other questions?
Before
you could have an amenable out.
just before you go, your call number, I've got his. So 1745, and just one more thing before we go. Is there any reason that neither of you told me that you turned on your body cameras throughout any of this conversation?
I appreciate that. I was going to tell you as I left.
Okay.
No, I didn't tell you at the time.
Okay.
I've just turned it on as we got out. But obviously you have been recorded the body worn video.
Okay.
I didn't get it out at the time because obviously maybe I should have done, but we've obviously been dealing with you. Yes, I should have told you at the beginning.
Appreciate
I
that.
appreciate after the fact it's a bit difficult to say.
Yeah,
I was going to tell you
Yeah.
as
I do normally wait until you're walking away and then call you back,
Yes.
but I realise you're parking the road, so once you start walking away, I just want to leave you to crack on.
No, that's fair enough.
But so
yes.
I'll take your word that you were going to tell me.
I appreciate that's very difficult, but
yeah, but try to, because obviously if you're recording something.
Finally, attempts at resolution surface. Officers might assert authority once more or step back to de-escalate, while the subject maintains composure, signaling that they won't be intimidated. Every gesture, tone, and eye movement is loaded with significance. The audience is on edge, knowing that a final turning point could come at any moment.
A lot of people don't understand
so I look at that, and obviously I appreciate I'm in the uniform. I'm still a human being, I'm still a member of society, I might be wearing this uniform.
Yeah.
But I look at that and go, well, work with us. Work with us. If you want to be part, we have independent advisory groups, we have education groups, we have opportunities for people who have that skill set to come in and discuss the experiences that you've had with officers like myself. I'm sure you've had previous experience with other colleagues, and you can discuss the good things, the bad things, and where that line is.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you might be.
What are they called? Sorry, independent.
So we have independent advisory groups. Right?
Independent advisory groups.
There's most of them at the moment are on things like stop search, community issues, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything specific to things like drone flying, or photography, and stuff like that around sensitive sites. But it's something to raise with us, by all means, because then we can.
I mean, I've actually reached out to the Met, to the Commissioner, and asked him for an interview. That's with the Communications Office at the moment. And it's something that hopefully he'll respond to. It was a very polite email, and hopefully that will be a good platform, because ultimately we want to build bridges. There's a lot of reports coming out about the Met, police officers in the Met, and I'm not saying
I would say probably at least almost 50% of people hate us.
Yeah.
And I don't come to work to be hated.
No, exactly. No, but it's the bad ones giving the police a bad name, and you got like 600 cops that he says he don't.
The tension slowly unwinds as the situation concludes. Police either leave or the confrontation ends, but the intensity lingers in the reactions and body language captured on camera. It's a reflective moment. The consequences of the encounter, the principles at stake, and the unanswered questions resonate with the viewer, leaving them engaged, thoughtful, and fully aware of the drama they've just witnessed.